Guys, if you're big and overweight, especially as a guy, nobody's coming to save you. It was all just me, and me. Nobody believes in you. Nobody wants to see you win. Food just simply has to be a fuel source for you. You have to come to realize that this fitness shit is not like a temporary fix. Yo, what's going on with you guys today, man? It's your boy King Edward here, man. If you're new to my channel, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram at the Great King Edward. So yeah, guys, I want to really talk to you and have like a one-on-one with you about overall the mindset. And I really want to dive into the mentality and just overall, like I said, the mindset and the headspace that you're going to need to be in to really lock in and really see some results as far as your fitness goals, whatever that may be, whatever that may be. If that's losing 10, 15, 20 pounds. In my case, that was 70 plus pounds. Guys, if you guys didn't know, I used to weigh over 300 pounds. I scientifically would have been considered morbidly obese and just somebody to potentially be at risk of having diabetes. And yeah, guys, I just want to share and break down some of the mentality and just the overall, the mindset shift that I had to make to break through that barrier and ultimately see any sort of progress. It was a long ass journey for me, guys. I'm not gonna lie. It was a really long, rough journey for me. There were days where it seemed impossible, but ultimately, guys, these few mindset shifts was ultimately the key for me to find success in my fitness journey and stick through it. Because as you guys know, motivation, it fades. Motivation is not always gonna be there. It's not something that's always gonna be there for you to depend on. So at the end of the day, what you're going to have to lean on after motivation fails is just a routine and just ultimately your mindset and the ultimate mindset and the ultimate mindset shift you're going to have to really find success in your fitness journey. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it, guys, because this is going to be really deep in my opinion. I'm going to go really personal, and I'm really going to go personal as far as like the mindset shift I personally had to make. So for me, guys, the number one mindset shift that I had to make was just realizing that nobody is coming to save you. Like no matter all these Disney fairy tale movies, all this BS shit that you've been watching online, guys, if you're big and overweight, especially as a guy, nobody's coming to save you, and you just have to come to terms with that. That took me a while to come to terms with it. I would cry myself at night every day, guys, when I was big and overweight. Girls were disrespecting me. My own family was disrespecting me. I would have to eat that shit every single day, and I don't know how. And ultimately, it's only through the power of God and my faith, and I would also say my stubbornness, that I didn't end up leaving this earth. Because guys, there were some really dark points in my life when yes, I was big and overweight, but also like nobody cared. Like people would just pile onto me. They'd pile on people close to me, like I said, my family members would pile onto me, reaffirming me being big and overweight. They'd call me names. And as you know, as a guy, you got to just eat that shit, especially as a guy, especially from your family members. You got to eat that insult. So guys, that's one thing I had to come to realize, is that nobody's coming to save you. So all these insults that I was getting, nobody was coming to save me. I was thinking that, you know what, maybe somebody would, I don't know. I just had this weird conception that maybe somebody off the street, a super jacked guy, would come take me under his wing and be like, hey man, you're overweight. Come under my wing for a couple months. I'll train you a little bit. I'll get you fit. None of that shit happened to me. Literally, it was all just me. One day I woke up. It's literally just as simple as me waking up one day, looking at myself in the mirror. I was just tired of the shit I was receiving as far as the outside noises from my own family members, girls disrespecting me. Like I said, a lot of girls were making fun of me. They would call me names behind my back, and I would hear these names. And like, guys, I was just tired and sick and tired of all the insult and disrespect I was getting as a guy. Because as a guy, you have pride. If you're a man and you're watching this video, you're gonna have some pride if you just keep hearing a bunch of insults, a bunch of people disrespecting you, and there's nothing you can do about it, especially when you're big and overweight. Because ultimately you have to realize you got yourself to that point, to getting big and overweight. And that was one thing I had to come to realize, was that I did this shit to myself. I ate all the foods. I was eating all the junk food. Yes, I was depressed, but ultimately that didn't serve me any purpose, because I was just gaining weight and getting bigger, and society was punishing me essentially for basically using food as a coping mechanism, because eating all this junk food made me big and overweight. And as a result, I got fat. And next thing I knew it, I blew up to 300 plus pounds. And as a result of that, people were disrespecting me. Like I said, my family members were disrespecting me, and my friends were disrespecting me. And like I said, females didn't even look at me. And if they did, they'd call me names. And like I said, it really hurt me, guys, because like I said, it's one thing when the outside people, when people you don't even know insult you, call you names. For me, I could shrug that off. But it hurts differently when like your family members, people close to you, your aunts and uncles, when they see you because I didn't see some of my relatives I didn't see for a while. So like when we had certain family gatherings, like Thanksgiving gatherings or like certain events in general, they'd see me. They see me blow up to. They saw me because I used to be relatively lean. Then I got super big when I was depressed around the COVID time. I would say is when I blew up to over 300 plus pounds. Then once we got out of COVID is when we started to like interact socially with more people outside in the real world. So once COVID ended and I was over 300 plus pounds, when I would go out to different family functions, the first thing my family relatives would tell me was like, "Damn, you look big as shit." Like they literally just say that straight up. They said, "Damn, you gotten big. What happened?" And I would just make jokes about like I laugh it off, be like, "Hey, it's COVID. In the house all day." Ultimately, there was no excuse, but they would just laugh and just call me names like on the side. Like there's a bunch of names that they call me. I don't want to even repeat because it pisses me off. But ultimately, I use it as fuel nowadays. But guys, I just wanted to share just some background as far as like all the insults that I was receiving and just coming to realize that nobody's coming to save you. So with all these insults, nobody was coming to save me. I had to just realize that this shit is all going to be on my own. Like I got myself to this point and I'm the one who has to get myself out of this point. So you guys have to come to realize basically the number one mindset shift you're going to have to make is just realizing that you have to get your shit out. You have to get yourself out of the mud. Nobody's coming to pull you out, especially, like I said, especially as a guy. For females, I can't speak on that too much because I'm not a female, obviously. And as you guys know, some guys are super thirsty and down bad. So even some big overweight chicks can still find, the guy of their dreams, I would assume. But for guys, like for me, I want a super bad chick. And I know for me to have a super bad chick, I need to be the best version of myself. So that was one motivation for me to continue losing weight. And that was one of the main triggering factors, obviously, was ultimately realizing that I need to personally take control of my own personal life, and that nobody's going to do that shit for me but me. And the first thing was just having accountability and realizing that nobody's coming to save you. You have to get through this shit yourself, and that's what makes a man. And ultimately, that's what makes a man, in my opinion. Just overcoming adversity when nobody believes in you, nobody wants to see you win. Your back is up against the wall. So, guys, like I said, it's really important, especially for guys who are big and overweight. It's all on you to just change it. And obviously it takes progress. It takes time, but you just have to realize as a guy, especially as a guy, man, you have to be fit. Like, I don't even know what to say at this point. That's something I personally realized as a guy is that being fit, just like, it gives you confidence. Like nobody can tell you shit. No bitch can tell you shit. No guy, especially who's overweight, can tell you shit. You just start moving differently. Even if like, you don't have to be like the super, super leanest guy. When you're at a good body fat and a good weight as a guy, and you're like slightly above average from the normal guy, you just feel different. Because even for me, I still got maybe like 10, 15 more pounds. I think I would say like 20 pounds to lose more. But as of right now, me sitting at 224, 225 pounds, I feel great. I'm not satisfied. I still got more weight to lose. I started off at 300 plus pounds, and I know I've lost a lot of weight up until this point, but I just wanted to share with you guys that that's the number one mentality shift you're going to have to make, is that nobody's really going to come and save you. That it's all going to be on you at the end of the day, and you just got to eat that shit and just thug it out, essentially, and just be a man. So that's really going to be important for you guys to really understand, because that's personally what I had to come to realize, that nobody was going to come and save me. So yeah, guys, that's number one. Now, the second mindset shift you're going to have, guys, is your overall relationship with food. I know, obviously, food got you to where you're at. All the food you've been eating has gotten you to where you're currently at, if you're big and overweight. But you're going to have to make a serious mindset shift on food. And what I mean by the mindset shift, you're going to have to see food simply as a fuel source. Nothing more, nothing less. So that's a very, very key mindset shift you're going to have, especially when you're really, really deep in your fitness journey. You can no longer see food as a leisure. You can't see food as some type of like hobby or something that you'd like to enjoy. No, food just simply has to be a fuel source for you. You have to think of it like a gas. When you go to the gas station to put some gas in your car, obviously you just want gas in your car. That's all you think about, like, just to get you from point A to point B. That's how you got to see food. You can't see food as like, this super delicacy where you're going to have to always like, eat the best, junk food, or eat like the most sweetest junk. No, you can't. You're going to have to cut that shit out completely. And your mindset shift on food has to change completely, drastically, as a matter of fact. So I know for me, I got some younger siblings who who love junk food, and they see me meal prep all the time, and they wonder like, how do you get, like, don't you get bored eating the same food over and over again? And I'm telling myself no, because ultimately I'm just eating food that fuels me to get me throughout the day, fuel my workouts, and just fuel my day in general. So that's one thing you're gonna have to realize, guys, especially if you're big and overweight. You're gonna have a mindset shift on food in general. Now, this is not to say that you're gonna have to completely 100% neglect your favorite junk food. I'm not gonna lie, it will need to get minimized, but as far as like certain foods, you're gonna have to be very, very cautious of what you eat on a day-to-day basis. So like for me, I love burgers. I love McDonald's. That was one thing I was always eating: McDonald's, Whataburger, um, just all these junk foods and all these unhealthy fast foods. But for me, the best alternate decision was just cooking my own foods, cooking with leaner ground beef, so 93 ground beef or 96 ground beef. Just cooking that myself, eating that with chicken, eating that with rice, or having some low carb bread or whatever it is. So just ultimately making smarter, healthier choices. So I'm not saying you have to completely neglect, like, some main staple foods in your life, but just tweaking it and making better, healthier food options to not only fuel your body, but give you the right energy you need to help you go throughout your day and obviously lose weight. So that was one mindset shift that I had to make, guys, was just ultimately realizing the importance of prioritizing whole foods, obviously, and simply seeing food as a fuel source. That's going to be really, really important. You can no longer see food as some, like, like I said, most people that I've come to realize, and what I've come to realize for myself, is that I always treated food like it was some type of delicacy, that each and every meal I was eating had to be super, super sweet, savory, and like just something that I could eat for hours and hours and hours. No, guys, you just have to simply see food as a fuel source at the end of the day to get you throughout your day, especially when you're working out. On top of it, you need to be fueling your body with the right fuels. So that's the second thing I have to share with you guys as far as the mindset shift you're gonna have to have, is to just realize the importance of prioritizing whole foods and just no longer seeing food as like some super famous, like just some super delicacy. You're gonna have to simply see food as a fuel source, nothing else. Now, the third mindset shift you're gonna have, and this is gonna be a non-negotiable in my opinion, and all these are really non-negotiables, but this number 3 is really non-negotiable, is you have to have the strong willpower and the ability to say no. And basically, as a result of saying no so many times, you're gonna have to be okay with being lonely, especially for the first like 3 to 6 months of your fitness journey, if you're really serious. But if you're not serious, then by all means continue doing what you're doing. Be stagnant, be depressed at like your physique. But ultimately, what I've come to realize, and one of the biggest mindset shifts I had to have, was just the ability to just say no to people and just be okay with that. And then as a result of saying no to so many people, just being okay with being alone and just going through this journey alone, just like isolating myself, not like intentionally, but like unintentionally isolating myself just to get to where I need to be. Because for one, you have to realize it's temporary. As far as like, the strict isolation and strict saying no. For example, my friends, they love to go out on weekends, especially on Thursday nights. There's like a club that's always open on Thursday nights, and it's free for the women, and just like, it's a vibe. I'm not gonna lie, I used to go there every Thursday with my friends. But I just came to realize that going out at night would just throw off my next day. I would drink a little bit, and as a result, I get hungover, and then I would eat Whataburger literally at 2 a.m. in the morning. That was something I was doing. And I was just realizing at the end of the day that this shit is not helping me get to my goal anyways. Like, me going out to the club, the chicks weren't even that bad. I mean, there were a few bad chicks, I'm not gonna lie to you. So I may swing back, like, down the line, but not going to the club. I'm not gonna go to the club or anything, but I may try to holler at some chicks if I see them out in public. But that's another story. I don't even like, at this point, I think it's beneath me to go to clubs and holler at chicks. At this point, if a chick is not gonna holler at me, or like there's no mutual interest, I'm not even interested. Like, I got so much shit going on for myself that I don't even care whether chicks wanna, but that's another point. Either way, guys, like I was saying, a lot of my friends, they like to go out to eat on weekends. They just like to go out in general, and I had to say no to them a lot. Like at least every other day they'd ask me, hey, you want to go out to this club, or hey, you want to go out to this event? I have to say no, because like, I know at this event or this club there's going to be food that'll throw me off my macros, or there'll just be foods that I just can't eat, or they'll tempt me to drink something that I don't want to drink. Ultimately, nobody can tempt me to do anything at this point. I'm pretty strong-headed, but I just know I don't even want to put myself in that position. So as a result, people don't talk to me anymore. A lot of my close friends, they don't really reach out to me, which is okay. I've already come to terms with that. I already got my own thing going on. So, like I said, guys, you're gonna have to be okay with like getting through this journey alone, because like I said, nobody is gonna like, especially like the normal people in society. Most people in society, what I've come to realize is they're okay with being average. Like they're okay going to work every day, coming home, drinking a can of beer, watching the football game, and going to bed and going back to work the next day. And then on the weekends, party, forget their problems at work, and then come back to square one back on Monday. For me, I have bigger goals in mind. I don't want to work by 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. I want to build something outside of my 9 to 5. I want to build a legacy for myself. Um, I want like 10 kids. So ultimately, I don't see me having 10 kids and working a regular 9 to 5 to be sustainable. So that's why I just want to do something outside of the box. And for me, the first key step for me to get to do anything outside the box is to obviously be in the best shape of my life. And then as a result, go from there, leverage my physique, do other things besides work on my 9 to 5, and then hopefully supplement my 9 to 5 with other things. Because for me, like I said, I got bigger goals in mind than just be the average guy. So, and what I come to realize, a lot of people, they're okay and content with being average. And as a result, if you want to be on average, you got to isolate yourself and just distance yourself from people who are average. So that's just a mindset shift you're gonna have to come to terms with, and you're gonna have to be okay with that, because ultimately you came into this world alone, and you're gonna leave this world alone. So that's the mindset I put myself in every day. Every day I wake up and every day I go to sleep thinking about, damn, I could be going out to this club with my friend, but ultimately, is this going to take me closer to my goal or further away from my goal? That's what I tell myself every single day. And I want you guys to do this. I want you guys to really understand that this is going to be the mindset shift you're going to have to really see some results as far as your physique and just getting in better shape. Because ultimately, this is going to be a lifestyle change, not something you do temporarily. Ultimately, 6 months, like logging in for 3 to 6 months can get you really far. But to really see results, this is going to be a lifelong journey. And this kind of piggybacks off my last mindset shift that I'm currently, I'm just recently like coming to terms with this mindset, is that, like I said, this is going to be a lifelong journey. So what most people come to realize, what I initially thought was, let me lock in for 3 to 6 months, go super crazy, go all in. Then after the 6 months, I'll let loose a little bit, try to like slide back into my old habits. Guys, that's not going to set you up for success. So basically, the last mindset shift I want to share with you guys is that if you guys get to your goal and you locked in for those 3 to 6 months and you get to where you want to get to, you guys have to ultimately realize that even after your super strict journey, you're going to have to really still do the same thing, even basically for the rest of your life. Obviously, it doesn't have to be super, super intense or super, super restricted, but it still has to be pretty damn near close. So let's say you're working out 5 to 6 days a week while you're on your strict diet, strict cutting phase, weight loss phase. After those 6 months, you could probably bump it down to 3 to 4, but you still want to be working out, obviously. You don't want to just completely neglect the gym, because trust me, 3 months, if you locked in for 6 months in the gym and then fell off right after, you literally go back to square one within 2-3 months easily. So it's also really, really important to just realize that after you lose the weight, if you get to that point and you get to your goal, you still have to keep pushing and keep going through it, keep going through this fitness journey, even way after you're done your fitness goals. So you have to come to realize that this fitness shit is not like a temporary fix. It's a lifelong journey. And that's something I've just recently come to realize. And I'm happy with. Like, I want to die being a fit person. So that's why it's really important to lock in your fitness goals from the moment you start to the moment you end. So it's really, really important, guys, to really lock in on your fitness journey and realize this is a lifelong journey process and not something you're going to do temporarily. It's going to be something you're going to do for the rest of your life. So that's the last key point I want to share with you guys. So hopefully you guys learned something from this video, man. And yeah, man, stay tuned for the next one.